with you. Welcome to our Daily Dharma. Just got an email yesterday from a Dharma friend in India who says they're listening in or zooming in at this time. So I don't think it's morning in India. So welcome everyone, whatever time it is. And I want to continue the theme from yesterday, basically noticing the three characteristics, just like in everyday life. And really, I think my intention with this is to kind of dispel the idea that maybe one might have that, insight only comes from like being on deep retreat and, something extraordinary. I think yesterday I said, levitating in a cave in the Himalayas. Well, insight can and does come from being on intensive retreat for sure. Those are very, very supportive conditions, right, for it. But it's not exclusive to that. So just to kind of my intention in doing this little 2-day piece here. Yesterday I talked about, how many conditions need to come together in order for anything to happen. It's just, and the how relational that is, how interconnected everything is, and how many things, possible that could go wrong that would keep, say, a plan that we have from, coming to fruition. And of course, that all has to do with change. Yeah, the characteristic of change, this interdependent nature of things in this realm. Everything is changing and everything is changing, affecting everything else. And so today I want to look at the kind of the complementary aspect, because when we look at any one characteristic, we're looking at the other two. It's just one thing. It's just three different kind of takes on that one thing. And because it's possible for anything to happen at any time, I was using the example of having the plan to go into the retreat center and do this stream from the Dharma hall, and just different things that kept arising that would keep that from happening. And, the sense of vulnerability, that's one word that I like to use to kind of fill out the depth and breadth of the Pali word dukkha, right? This particular aspect, this particular characteristic, dukkha, vulnerability. It's not even just with this level of dukkha, right? There's different levels. Some are just a very kind of ordinary bumps and knocks and sufferings of the body and of the mind. Yeah. But there are deeper, more profound kind of layers or levels of dukkha. And it's not just that you have a plan. I'm going to go to the store later and buy some bread, right? Just something simple. Well, there are so many occurrences that could happen that would keep that from happening. Go and you start your car, doesn't work. They lost power at the supermarket. They had to close, a million things. It's not even that it happens, right? That it happened, the supermarket closed. I can't go and get the bread, dukkha, the drag. It's even the fact that it could happen, that we live in a realm where these things happen outside of our control, and we're subject to being, affected by them. Just the fact that it could happen and that that's a possibility, that actually is a very profound level of dukkha. It's just the world we live in. Anything at any time. Now, when one really starts to reflect on that and lean into that, and more importantly, actually experience that in their life, it can be easy to can kind of go two ways with that. One is, oh my God, anything can happen at any time. That's true. I'm not in control of anything, and kind of like get scared and freeze and just maybe kind of crawl in the bed. And so that's not so helpful. The other way to go with that, same truth, anything, anytime, you know, that anything happens is a miracle. That you and I are here right now is due to countless moments, miraculous moments throughout our life, throughout our parents' life, or the people who bore us, right? Health needed to keep going, lack of disease, just you can't even imagine, right? What the number of conditions that needed to be present for you and I to be here right now in this moment. And so, we could freak out and go, this is anything can happen at any time, or we can lean into the preciousness of this moment, really get present and reflect on and take in and be with the miracle of this moment. That it's even happening is pretty far out. So I would suggest the second, the latter. It's not so helpful just to really let fear take over. Much better to get really present and be with the unfolding, unfathomable present moment, moment after moment, because so many things have to be present and absent for that moment to arise. And it can be fun to just take one thing and spend some time and reflect on it. Like, let's just take this right here, this Zoom call. Let's, think about some things. Well, one thing is for sure that my particular computer that I'm using had to be working, right? Which, depends on all sorts of things, right? Certainly, like, the internet being up and working and not down, which, that happens. Um, let's see what else. That we had electricity and that my computer could charge last night. That the electricity didn't go out. Yeah. That, I didn't get one of those 4 a.m. calls with a family emergency that would have taken me away from this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's just my end. And then on your end, for you to be here now, right? And so it can be interesting to take some time and reflect on just some simple occurrence that's happening and start to think of all the things that needed to be present and also not present, absent, in order for that moment to be how it was. And again, now, not as a way to freak out, but as a way to appreciate how it is, appreciate the complexity and the level of change in the world that we live in, to appreciate the truth of dukkha. And again, not as a way to kind of get negative or freak out, but as a way to connect with the preciousness of each moment. Okay, let's go ahead and do some formal practice and see how we might actually, these are words, so concepts, how can we experience life in this way? Let's go ahead and settle in to whatever posture you're going to use. And as you settle into the body, feeling the body, if you have access to really feeling the kind of energy body or the subtle body, the aliveness of the body that's felt as very tiny sensations of vibration or tingling, buzzing. Why? Why do we feel this? Because the body is alive. And that it's alive in this moment is truly miraculous. And we can appreciate that and appreciate that we have this moment to practice, that we're alive, and dedicate ourselves to using this moment for practice, for cultivating mindfulness and wisdom and compassion. Being with the body, one starts to be aware of the body breathing, feeling it, experiencing it in a somatic way. Letting the body breathe on its own as best you can. So many things could occur that would inhibit the next breath coming, or even not allow it at all, which of course will happen one day, won't it, for each and every being. The lawful nature of the realm we live in. The Buddha said, Sabbe Sankhara Anicca. All conditioned things are subject to change. They're born, they live for some period of time, and they pass away. That the next breath comes is amazing. And we can appreciate that and honor it by being deeply present for it. Cultivating mindfulness, mindfulness of breathing, anapanasati. You might notice, if at all, how this type of reflection, how it affects or informs the quality of awareness you bring to the breath. Does it support it? Does it make it just a little more fine-tuned? Does that appreciation and bring a little bit more heart into the practice. And the possibility of relating to any object that arises and is known in this way, any sound, any thought, manifestation of the incredible complexity and relationality of the Dharma, of the realm that we live in. Being with this unfolding as best we can, learning from it. Learning not through the intellect, but by our direct, in the moment experience with what's arising. Thank you for your practice. And so I want to encourage you to, at times, kind of catch yourself, catch the certainty in which arises in your mind in relation to things that you think are going to happen. I don't know, a friend calls you and you're going to go take a walk together. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll be over at 5 to pick you up. Like, oh, okay, that's the plan. What are all the things that need to come together, that need to be present and also need to be absent in order for you to be at that person's where they live at 5 o'clock? And really reflect on that. And again, not as a way to get afraid or to freak out, but to tune into the preciousness and also the reality of the world that we live in, this vulnerability. And then based on that vulnerability, the preciousness of what actually just arose in this moment. Because worrying about what might happen in the future, We don't live in the future, do we? We live right now. So best to bring the practice to right now. And right now, what's most mm, evident is the preciousness of this moment, that it even happened. Okay. Um, yeah. Um, I wish you well with that. It can be a little edgy and challenging, but I think it's well worth it and fruitful. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you at some point next week. Take good care till then. Okay, bye bye.